dad is alive today. A little over a year and a half ago, he was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. And earlier this year, my mother, my brother, and I watched as he had a heart attack and went into cardiac arrest. When I was a child, I only saw my dad cry 3 times. The first was when he had to put down his best friend, this beautiful, loyal jungle gym of a dog, our family dog, Boom. The second was when he had to put down our ferret, Coco. And the third time I saw my dad cry as a child changed my life forever. It was the summer after 2nd grade, and we were at our cabin in the woods. Often a weekend getaway for the family spent hiking, horseback riding, fishing. But this particular evening, we had just finished watching a movie when my dad switched off the TV, turned to me and said, "Kevin, are you making friends at school?" I said, yes I am, thank you. He said, "Okay, well, what about the other children? Are the other children picking on you?" I said, "Dad, please do tell. What is it they would be picking on?" Now my dad deflected and followed up with one more question. He said, "What about the lessons, Kevin? Are you understanding the lessons?" I said, "Dad, I'm the first person done with the test, so I think I'm doing pretty good." Now, at this point, my dad, my mom, they're visibly frustrated, upset. And I recall, at this very moment, they locked eyes and they began to cry. And I think, okay, yeah, so I get that. I've seen this look. You idiots are going to put me down. Now, my parents, they pushed through their tears and they begin to explain that my teacher, okay, who didn't have the balls to say this shit to my face, believed that it was in my best interest to repeat the 2nd grade. Go ahead, back of the line, Reinmiller, do it again. I remember they said, "Kevin, a lot of kids are going to repeat. There are a lot of families sitting down with their children right now having the same conversation we're having today." Bullshit! Because I did repeat, and I didn't see a single familiar face that entire year. Now, to my parents' credit, no, I was not making friends, and yes, I was being picked on. Look at me. I have stretch marks, aka tiger tats, thank you, Keisha, my wife, back fat, freckles, a gray patch, and a Brillo pad for hair. And today is the best I've ever looked in my entire life. Can you imagine what those children had to work with back then? Kids are savages. And the lessons, no, I wasn't following. Shapes, colors. You know, maybe if there were more kids like me in the world, we'd have less racists and homophobes. And being a parent is such a difficult job. They had to very well know that any obstacle up until that point, any teasing I had endured, was the tip of the iceberg. But you do what's right. That is my dad. Even if at first it means more work, even if at first it hurts, daily you will be faced with hundreds of obstacles. Some are going to be big, some are going to be small, and some may not even feel like obstacles at all. You either take advantage of them or you do not. Now, the day after my dad had his heart attack, my family and I sat in the ICU, and a nurse came through and she said, "Ron," he nodded, and she went on. She said, "I have to unplug some of these contraptions and move around some of these wires, and when I do," she warns us, "it will sound like you're the flatlining." And she did, and sure enough, alarms began to sound, and instantly, My dad's head went to his chest. Silence. Until he lifted his head, winked at us, and just waited approval of the room. My dad's alive today. He's in the third row. And if I didn't step on the stage and share with you just an example or two as to how he's shaped me, I'd regret that for the rest of my life. People may not get you at first. Your decisions may not make a lot of sense to others, and you may very well be the only person to do whatever it is you decide to do. But he taught me, take advantage of each and every obstacle. Shit. Even if it means doing it all over again.